Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and once again I'm going to be taking a look at some Blokees. Last time it was Evangelion, this time it's going to be Transformers, and these right here are awesome. Just like we would have seen before, you bust them out of the box, you build them up, you load them up with weapons, and then you pose them, and they are phenomenal. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime, Tarn, the comic version, as well as Soundwave. Anyway, I cannot start this video right here without thanking Blokees themselves for sponsoring this video. There is a link down there in the description if you want to check them out. Now let's get right on into the review. Okay, so the first one I'm going to be taking a look at is this right here, the Blokees Transformers Prime Action Edition Optimus Prime. That right there's the front of the box, side of the box. This second side of the box showing us everything we get inside. So a whole bunch of stuff including the Matrix, Star Saber, arm swords and arm cannons. We've got a inner frame inside, a little idea of what the assembly will be like and what the finished Optimus Prime will look like. There's the back again, a ton of information about the finished Optimus Prime, including a whole bunch of poses and everything we're going to be seeing inside. So this box is packed. On dumping everything out of the box, there's tons in here. Like we always see with these Blokees kit, we have a collectible card, absolutely tons of sprues or runners, depending on what you like to call them, a nice bag of tires, included stand, some of these parts in here which are pre-painted with some nice decals already pre-put on for you. And of course we do have the assembly manual for assembling Optimus Prime. This is all the information you need to put it together, and as you can see, this is incredibly, wow, this is detailed. Alright, so jumping on into the build, and as usual we're going to be starting off with the leg, and as you can see the detail here is incredible. We've got metallic silver, a very nice kind of metallic, or should I say metallic injection blue. We've got actual tires on the wheels, and when it comes to the movement here, we've got this beautiful bend at the knee with nice segmenting parts, gold detail inside, and nice articulation down at the foot too. So when it does come to the actual build itself, the instructions here are super clear. The entire manual is in color. It tells you all of the runners you need to get ready for each part, and they're all super clear, including the runner and numbers. I mean, this is really easy to follow. Just like we've seen before with Blokees kits, you do not need any tools. You can just pull the parts right off the runners with your hands, and the attachment of parts is super easy. You start off the build with the foot, which has an interesting circular design to the ankle, into which you attach all of the moving aspects, which closes up like so, and finishes off with the toes and some moving armor. And what we get from that is these moving armor segments on the front, a nice toe bend up and down, the heel, the ankle also has movement to the front and back, as well as side to side. Build up the upper leg frame, armor, build up the knee with this nice multi-joint structure, upper leg connects to lower leg, which lock together with a pin through the knee, like so. Then you need to blast some rubber tires onto the wheels, just like so, which is pretty cool. Actual rubber tires. You attach pairs of these together, which attach on to the side of the leg, and then this attaches on just like that. Finish it off, then you just grab the foot, it attaches in from below, and finally then you grab the foot and that attaches on from below until it clicks, just like that. Leg complete. This all starts off with the battery unit right here. Batteries do come included, and you just have to slide this little segment out just like so. And as you can see, there's a little LED inside to light it all up. You start adding a whole bunch of joints on, a clear piece in the front, add in the ab crunch as the waist section is part of the upper body. Both are contained together. The shape of a torso starts to fill in, and the detail inside of here is extremely nice. You grab the pre-molded and pre-painted matrix, which looks like this, flip it on over, pop in some clear blue plastic, finish it off like so, and this then attaches into that chest cavity just like so. Close up the chest, some more nice inner frame detail attaching up top. Finally starting to bring in some iconic Optimus Prime red in a beautiful glossy plastic. You continue on building on the armor plate after plate. Grab your choice of windshield. It comes in two colors. That is very classic light blue, and we've got this darker, almost sunglasses, darker blue. Attach a bunch of joints onto the back of that, which helps it attach nicely onto the front, just like so. Next up, you get the armor onto the back like so. Then you finish off the back with the rest of the details, including tires again, wheels with rubber tires, attaching in some rear windows which look a little something like this, exhausts, and finish it all off with this blue skirting armor which attaches on just like that. There we are, there it is complete. Rocking some nice ab crunch right there, a very nice opening system which opens there, forward sliding mechanisms which move these out and open like so, and these opening segments down here for the matrix inside there. Overall, pretty damn awesome. Now it's time to get those legs on, and we've got it, well, pretty much halfway finished. So there is leg the first, and there is leg the second. So this so far is a pretty tall model kit and looking great to boot. So next up in here, we're going to be building the arms, and these look incredibly nice, especially the design down here on the hands with the nice moving thumbs and swappable finger style hands. We also have some pre-molded Autobots logos, some nice moving elements up on the shoulders, lots of articulation, and a very nice elbow bend as well. Overall, pretty cool design. First up, you build up the shoulder joint. That's what the cross section looks like. This will be holding on the shoulder. This down here, the arm. That closes up. You build up the lower arm and elbow, into which that shoulder slots and clicks nicely into. You continue on the elbow joint, which is a nice double jointed elbow. When it comes to the shoulder armors, you have the option of the Autobots logo or the Decepticon logo right here. This is a pre-molded part which attaches nicely into the segments you cut off the runners and then attaches on like so. Then you continue on by building up the armor, which continues to build up to give it that nice, very rounded, stylized design. Last up in here is the hands. These are very nice designs. So we've got swappable fingers, so you just pop those on like so, but we've got a choice of fists and other stuff. We've got a movable thumb which clicks on in nicely, giving you some nice articulation, and then around back it just locks finally together like so, looking a little bit like that right there once it is complete. Lastly, then you just get those arms onto it and they click very nicely into position, and this is a whole lot larger than I was initially expecting. So last up, when it comes to the build of Optimus, it is the head, which looks a little bit like this when complete. As for the build, this starts with a blue clear core. You build the armor around that, looking a little bit like so. The face starts to build up into the front. That's the finished face, by the way. Beautiful. Only joking, the actual face pops on like that. We do have 3 different face plates for using inside of it. Top of the head pops down and on like that. Front section like that. Side sections. Light piping blue section up through the neck, which the head pops onto, and you then finish it off with that iconic Optimus Prime muzzle section. And that's the head complete. And then finally you throw the head on up here, a little something like that, and there is the Blokees Optimus Prime complete. Lastly, then it's accessories. You start off with the arm blades, or should I say the arm swords, and then it's just time to finish off the accessories. You build up the arm cannons with some nice clear parts inside, layer up beautifully. We do have 2 of those. You build up the swords, again 2 of these. One is in silver, one is in clear blue. And again, nice layering up of parts, but a simple build overall. Finally, then we've got a stand included, which is always a very nice touch. So jumping on into the aesthetics, and that right there is the Transformers Prime version of the Blokees Action Edition Optimus Prime. When it comes to the overview, this model kit looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks so good. All the proportions that you want to see are here. Of course, this right here is the Transformers Prime version of Optimus Prime, so it does have a little bit of a Michael Bay live action movie style, just a little bit kind of with a cartoony twist for the animated show. When it comes to the silhouette, it is absolutely perfect. It is the elongated legs, large upper body with huge arms that we would have seen in Transformers Prime. And when it does come to the various different kind of colors and finishes, when it comes to the plastic on this finished Optimus Prime right here, we've got beautiful glossy red, metallic silver, a somewhat metallic blue, and we do have some nice clear parts for parts like the eyes, the windshields, and various other little details. We do have some painted on decals as well, including the Autobots logos up on the shoulders. On top of the great looks, we do have some LEDs inside of this with batteries included. So these are for the eyes. We've got this little wand section right here for activating them, and you just bring this up to the chest just like so to turn them on just like that. Seems like we do have some lights inside the chest as well, so just opening all of that up like so. And there we go, just like that. So basically you can tap it with the magnet wand once to have them on, tap it a second time for some breathing effects. So yeah, that right there is what they look like on. We've got the nice little section inside the chest as well with the matrix and the eyes up top. Now we do have multiple kind of on modes. So this is the standard mode. You bring it in again to get this nice breathing mode, and then you just tap it one more time to turn them off. Overall around this, we have amazing detail. Around the neck here, we've got this great technical detail. We've got the various different tire sections up on the back right here, down on the sides of the legs. Once again, these are rubberized on the outside, so that is very nice. We do have multiple points of nice gold pistons popping through, some pre-painted sections like the lights on the back here, as well as those logos up on the shoulders. Overall, looking phenomenal. Next up, moving on to the articulation. When it comes to how solid this kit is, it is rock solid. It might lose a little at the hips or something like that, but no, it's good and heavy, nice and solid, and all of the joints do feel great. Anyway, when it comes to the test pose, it moves nicely and smoothly down into a lunge. We do have bending toes, which is always nice. There isn't too much rotation, it seems, at the waist. Again, this could be me making a little bit of a mistake here, and the shoulders and arms move very, very nicely. In the end, this right here is what we get. As you can see, Optimus pulls off the usual test pose very, very nicely, but we will try another couple of poses later on when we do get the accessories into the mix, which is right now. Jumping on into the accessories, and here is the Optimus Prime with absolutely everything that it comes with, and it comes with quite a bit. We've got two versions of the Star Saber, we've got two arm cannons, two arm swords, apart from mounting the Star Saber on the back, and a bunch of alternate parts, including fingers and two extra face plates. Not only that, we have the two parts we would have seen as part of the optional build, which is shoulder armor with Decepticon's logo, as well as this different bright blue windscreen for in the chest. On top of that, then we do have a full stand as well, which is pretty awesome. So first up in here, we've got the stand. Up front is where you can pop your little wand for turning on and off the lights. The stand has multiple points of movement. All of these joints are ratcheted, and just like other Blokees we've seen before, it's got this really cool kind of squishy mechanism that spring loads the grabbing. Attaching on is super simple. You just clamp it around the waist just like so, and it'll keep your Optimus nice and secure. Blasting through the weapons now, and first up we do have two versions of the Star Saber. So this one has a nice metallic silver blade, gold detailing right here, and we've got all the various little kind of holes in the handle for attaching it on. The other version we do have is pretty much identical, besides having a nice clear blade. So we do have two variants depending on the way you want to display it. When it comes to attaching on the Star Saber, you need to just whip off the fingers that were on here before. You attach the holding fingers onto the sword itself and just attach them onto the hand for a nice solid grip. You can also swap out the thumb as well for a curved thumb, so Optimus looks like he's holding onto it properly. Getting this into a pose is super simple. It looks great in poses with this weapon. It's big, it's massive, it's awesome, and like I mentioned, there are two versions. The other version is for storing, so you can just pop this little adapter section through it like so and attach it onto the back of Optimus for a nice stored blade around back. Next up here then, we've got the arm cannons. These are just as nice as the actual finished Optimus itself. We've got clear parts on the inside there in blue, and the body of it is silver and dark grey. Overall, looking pretty good. The other arm-mounted weapons we have in here are the arm swords. Again, all in silver for the most part, besides the attachment point around here. And again, this is the exact same attachment point as the cannons, so we'll attach them both on at the same time. In the back of the arm, we've got this sliding down opening segment right here with a ball joint attachment section. You can either attach these blades using this section right here to attach them instead of hands, or pull it off to access this section, and you can plug them on in just like so. When it comes to the arm cannons, you open the flap, remove the hands, and they attach into the ball joint of the hand. Anyway, once you have these attached, get Optimus into a pose and it will look a little something like this. Overall, the posing experience here is very, very nice. There are some limitations, like in the abs to a degree. It can't really rotate around too much, but you can still get some nice dynamic movements in the hips, the shoulders. The arm crunch forward and back is great, so you get dynamic in the air and on the ground poses all of the time. Overall, an incredibly nice design, works out well, and another fantastic kit by Blokees. Next up, we've got the Blokees Transformers Action Edition Soundwave. Once again, like it says right here on the front, we've got magnetic activated sound and eye lighting. Pretty cool. Anyway, there's the front of the box, the side of the box. This second side of the box, once again, showing us everything we want to see in here, including the rocket launcher, cassette holder, concussion blaster. This does have an inner frame, which you build onto. And that right there is what the finished Soundwave looks like. That right there is the back of the box. Again, so much going on here. This gives us the general idea of what we'll be able to do articulation-wise with Soundwave. And down here, once again, everything that we're going to be seeing inside of this massive box. And speaking of which, here it is. Once again, a whole bunch of stuff. Safety manual about batteries, light up parts, tons of plastic, and the manual once again showing us everything we need to know to assemble this Soundwave. Once again, looking good and involved. When it does come to the build of the Action Edition Soundwave, just like we've seen with the last two, this is incredible. Pretty much a full inner frame to all of its body and all of those limbs. We've got the tape deck, which has fully functioning opening sections in the chest, which you build all of the body around. The joints are rock solid, and in the end, everything snaps together perfectly with beautifully satisfying clicks, and leaves you with a gorgeous finished Soundwave. When that is complete, you're not done yet, because this box contains tons and tons of accessories. The rocket launcher, concussion blaster, multiple other tiny little Decepticons including Laserbeak, Ravage, Ratbat, and Rumble. And then once you have everything complete, it's time to put Soundwave together again. This clicks so satisfyingly into position, every limb attaches on nicely, feels great, and what you get in the end is one beautiful looking Soundwave. This looks insane. These are some serious kits. Each one so far, hugely impressive. So jumping now on into the aesthetics, and there is Soundwave complete, and this looks spectacular. As usual, first off, there is the overview, and when it comes to the silhouette of this version of Soundwave right here, this is the Blokees Transformers Action Edition Soundwave. Well, this definitely takes your classic Generation 1 Soundwave look and kind of gives it an almost kind of cute sort of feel, with almost shorter limbs and a bigger head and a smaller chest all round. But all of your typical Soundwave stuff that you want to see is all here. We've got the great color scheme, which is blue, yellow, white, and red. We've got the cassette deck in the chest, and pretty much everything that you want to see, Soundwave-wise, is exactly where you want it, just a little bit remixed proportions-wise. So overall, I have to say, this does look fantastic. Even though Tarn for me is the coolest looking design out of them all, I just love what they did with the G1 Shockwave right here, and a little bit of the redesign. Just popping open the chest section, just like so. You can see we do have the kind of tape deck kind of detail in there too. Overall, impressive. Next up, time to test out the articulation. So when it comes to the strength of the kit, very nice. Again, this is freshly built out of box, so it's holding up very, very nicely. As with the usual pose, this moves quite smoothly into the position you want it to go into. We do have some ratchet joints up in the shoulders. It does feel like it could have a little bit more lunge ride here to get a little bit deeper down into it, but overall it poses up so nicely. Again, the only real limitation there is it kicking up to the front, but otherwise that pulls off the pose very nice. Oh, and just transitioning it into a crouch straight away. If you like a good crouch, all of these so far have been pulling off, or should I even say pulling off, crouches without a single issue. Jumping now into the accessories, and as you can see, this comes with a whole lot of stuff, as well as Soundwave itself. We've got a bunch of little accessories, including the tape for in the chest. We've got a included stand, same one we've seen so far. We've got a whole bunch of included stuff, or should I say, included Decepticons, which is Ratbat, Laserbeak, Ravage, and Rumble. Top of that, we do have some accessories for using with Rumble, as well as these little sections right here for attaching onto the arms to give you some hard points to mount on some stuff. So just like with the previous two, we do have the stand included in here, moves in all the same sort of ways. Same fun, super springy mechanism up here. And when it does come to the little section for turning on the lights, we do have this nice little Decepticons logo this time around. Now this apparently does have some sound effects as well. You just grab this right here and you tap it against the Decepticon logo, and then the eyes pop on just like that, which is pretty cool. So these are nice and bright. Now if you do it another time, you will get some voice lines, so let's have a listen. So yeah, pretty cool. Next up, we do have a tape for popping inside of the chest cavity. It opens up like that. You just grab the included tape section and it just pops on into the chest, closes up, and you can see it inside, which is fairly phenomenal. That's pretty cool. Next up in here, we've got the rest of the little guys. First up is Laserbeak. As you can see, this one is a bird. We do have some articulation so the neck can move up and down just like so, quite a bit. The wings can fold down just like so, and we do have different optional legs in here. Now, these are the standard ones, so you can just pop it on something just like so, or you can just grab these, yank them off, replace them with this different version right here, which has a little bit of an attachment point down bottom, which can be used to attach down to this, which makes it usable with the stand. Or you can grab this little section thing right here, which I think is Soundwave in its transformed form, and you can attach that on just like so. Next up in here, we've got Ratbat. Again, some amazing colors in here. The wings can move down like so, or they can move in like that, or to the back. We've got a little bit of a teeter forward and back to the feet, but overall he's pretty much in the same position all of the time, but pretty cool. Next up then is Ravage. So this has multiple points of articulation, so you can move the waist like so. The head does have some movement as well, some up and down. You can open the mouth up just like so. The eyes are color separated to red, and you can bend the legs as well to get it into some little positions like a bit of a running pose, a little something like that. Last up, we do have a little guy in here. This is Rumble, so this is the second one of these we're taking a look at today that does include a smaller little Decepticon inside of the box. And when it comes to the articulation on here, again, simple ball joints, but they don't do too bad. There is something akin to the standard usual pose that we do, and we do have some accessories for using with Rumble right here. When it comes to accessories, and yes, we do have accessories for this little guy right here. First up, we do have a pair of these weapons. Just move this little section out, attach that onto the arm just like so, and you attach that then onto the other side, and Rumble is ready for some rumbling. And again, we do have a bit of articulation in here as well, so you can make it look pretty damn badass. Instead of these, you can just pop them off like so. We do have some alternate hands, which are drills, and you can just pop them off by removing the hand. Yeah, so both of those on just like so, for it to look a little bit something like that right there. Last up then, we've got the weapons, which are stored around the back right here. That is the rocket launcher and the concussion blaster. With the rocket launcher, you just pull it out and over the shoulder just like so. That's what it looks like. And with the concussion blaster, you just pop this off, move this little section in, pull it back here, and pull this little section out the front like so. Lastly then, right here, we do have a handle. Just poke it there, pull it out, and there we go. There it is, complete. Just like Tarn, the hands in here are pretty much exactly the same. They are fully posable, so all the digits do move. Attaching in the weapon just involves popping it into the peg in the palm of the hand, and then just wrapping the fingers around it, just like that right there. And then just get it into whatever particular shooting pose you want to get it into. And, well, yeah, it looks pretty damn awesome. Alright, so on to the last one, and this one right here is the Blokees Transformers Action Edition Tarn. There's the front of the box, there is the first side of the box, there's the side of the box showing us everything we're going to see once it is complete. Once again, inner frame, the armor that pops on over it, we've got a little guy with him as well, and that's what it looks like complete. That right there is the back of the box, again, tons of information, including all of the weapons and poses we will be able to pull off. And down here, once again, it's everything included inside the box, and this might be one of the coolest looking Transformers designs I have ever seen. Again, huge box, literally packed with plastic, collectible card, safety manual, full manual, and once again, inside the full assembly manual is everything you need to know to get Tarn assembled. So when it does come to the actual build, first off, I will mention that the runners in here are phenomenal. First off, we've got some great painted on the runner details, including the faces, nice detail on the body, as well as a Decepticon's logo for the chest. The rest of the colors in here look insane, some beautiful blue. These are from a separate, smaller Decepticon, which also comes inside the box called Nickel. But yeah, overall the color scheme that does come inside of the box on the plastic here is insane. As well as the blue and the purple, we've also got clear pink and gold as well. The build, just like Optimus Prime, is spectacular, and personally I found even more enjoyable. We've got a beautiful inner frame, you layer on all of the armor, layer after layer, detail after detail. We've got pistons in the ankles, and the finished legs look amazing. Moving up to the torso, we've got a battery pack for the lights that builds up inside of the massive chest, again with a nice little inner frame structure. Tons and tons of detail that layers up on top, again gold, parts, painted details, clear aspects, and as you can see, so far coming together beautifully. The build of the arms is perfect too, shoulders with caterpillar tracks, sliding gimmick inside of the arm, and when it comes to the hands, these are amazing. Each of these digits are pre-molded on the runners with full articulation to each digit of the hand. So once you do actually pop this all together, you've got a fully posable hand straight away. Beautiful. The head is just as beautifully detailed, like we saw painted faceplates, color separated eyes with clear red, everything builds together perfectly, and of course that beautiful mask of the Decepticons logo itself. This is one of the most badass looking Transformers I have ever seen. That color, that design, that mask, insane. Once the robot itself is complete, it's time to assemble the weapons. The main weapon in here is a dual fusion cannon. Beautiful clear pink on the inside with gold and silver parts. It builds up with tons of moving sliding aspects. You build 2 separate cannon sections and attach them together like so. Next up in here we do have a completely second build, which is a tiny little guy called Nickel. Once again, this builds up very nicely. It's got tons of moving parts, not quite as detailed of course as Tarn himself, but it snaps together nicely, perfectly, and what you get in the end is insanely cute. Alright, so now jumping on into the aesthetics, and this right here is the Blokees Action Edition Tarn comic version, and of course, this is from Transformers. First off, when it does come to the overview, I have to say this may just be the coolest looking Transformer I have ever seen in my life, hands down. This is such a cool design. Actually taking the Decepticons logo and essentially building a Transformers design around it is such a cool move. Overall, when it does come to the silhouette, this looks amazing. It's nice and blocky, has some great proportions, and the silhouette is absolute perfection. When it does come to the actual plastics on here, this is such a joy to look at. We've got multiple shades of purple, that is a dark and a light. We've got metallic shades in here as well, that is the gold as well as the silver. The gold looks like it may be gold injection, the silver does seem like it's painted on the runners, ready to assemble. Finishing that all off, we've got multiple shades of grey, we've got black, we've got clear pink here and there. Overall, this just looks absolutely mesmerizing. Anyway, thrown into a little bit of a full spin so you can see every angle of it for yourself. This is one absolutely amazing Transformer design. Again, I have to say this might be my favorite design of a Transformer of all time. The overall shape, the silhouette, the big blockiness of it, the color scheme of purple on black, silver and gold, it just works out well. And the cherry on top, of course, is that Decepticons logo mask for a face. Every angle of this looks great. It's pretty large. I did forget to mention the actual size of Optimus in the last one, so I guess what we might as well talk right now about is the size of these guys. So anyway, there's a little bit of a size comparison. We've got Optimus on the left, we've got Tarn on the right. These are about 20 centimeters, maybe 21 centimeters tall, so you're looking at just over 8 inches, so they're fairly large. So next up, onto the articulation, and when it comes to the solidness of the finished kit, this is nice and solid, right out of box built. And as for the usual test pose, when it does come to getting Tarn into the usual pose, this poses very nicely. Great range of motion at all of the joints. Again, not too much of a swivel at the hips, or should I say the waist section, so there's a little bit of a limitation right there. But besides that, you can get nice and low down into a lunge, and we've got great arm articulation, good stiff joints as well, and overall, this right here is what we get. So there we go, down in this lunge it is a little bit front heavy, so he's falling forward without his stand, but overall not too bad at all. Dynamic, badass, and really cool looking. Again, we will try another couple of poses once we get into the accessories right now. So jumping on into the accessories, and there's everything that comes with Tarn, which is quite the amount of stuff. Once again, we do have a stand included, the double cannon right here. When it comes to some smaller stuff, what we've got is a mask with some scars on the cheek, a phone, a different headpiece, a part for using with the stand, 2 alternate faces, this whole little guy right here who's called Nickel, so all in all, we've got quite an amount of stuff. When it comes to the hands in here, unlike what we saw in Optimus, these are not swappable finger style hands. These have fully articulated hands, so they can move at pretty much every joint that you want them to. I guess, kinda like your own hands. Just like we would have seen with Optimus, we've got the exact same stand in here with the great little squidgy little parts to spring it back into position, all the same moving aspects, and we do have the magnetic little section here as well for the included LED section in the chest. Once again, we do have LED lit eyes in here. That is what they do look like on, and it's the same as before. You grab the little magnet section, you just touch that against the chest, remove it, and that changes the mode. So the secondary mode, just like before, is this kind of breathing effect. Then you just do it one more time to turn them off. We do have a whole bunch of face options. First off, you are able to remove the mask section. It just pops off like so, and there's the face in underneath. And we do have 2 alternate face plates as well as an alternate face mask, which is very similar to the original one, just it has a little bit of scarring across its eye right there. When it comes to weapons, first off in here we've got the dual fusion cannon. Again, beautiful looking with the clear pink effects with silver in behind them and some nice gold too. This is the first method of attaching them, so we've got an arm mount. This mounts onto the side of the arm just like so. Definitely a pretty hefty, sizable weapon, so it might be time for using the stand. Anyway, that's what it looks like right there when it is attached in a little bit of a pose, and this is one impressive looking weapon. Again, the clear parts look great, it mounts on nicely, gives a little bit of a Megatron-esque feel, and this isn't all it can do. We can do a little bit more with this particular weapon. Just grab it, remove it off the arm, remove it from that double mount, open up this flap, swing out this handle, grab the other barrel, swing this out, remove this cap from the top, and then they can attach end to end for this longer version of the weapon, for this very Buster style hold. You also do have the option of just grabbing this, pulling them in half and using them separately, but I think it's about time to check this little guy out. And that, of course, is Nickel. So this is a completely other little Decepticon that does come inside of the box. Now, this little guy's feet are tires, so they did include these nice little sections for clipping onto the feet, which look like little smoke trails, so it can stand up, which is really nice. If you're wondering about articulation, well, let's try out the usual pose. Getting into the usual pose, as you can see, there is some simple articulation in here, nothing too crazy, but for a little additional included guy, this is not too bad at all. Looking pretty fun. Overall, he's very, very cute. Simple ball joints all over the place, and you can get a couple of little poses out of him, but not too much. As for accessories with him, well, I guess he is an accessory, and he doesn't come with any of his own. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. All three of these have been absolutely fantastic. Out of them all, I find it a little bit difficult to choose my favorite, whether it is Soundwave or if it's Tarn. Tarn just has that overall badass look. The weapon that comes with it is just so versatile and awesome, and that Decepticon's face looks intensely cool. But when it comes to Soundwave, we've got that really old school Generation 1 flair, that blocky look that's really cool, just with Blocky's own signature kind of proportions thrown on top of it. All in all, they are fantastic. Optimus is great as well, but I prefer the classic Transformers look personally. Anyway, that's them all complete. Each one was a joy to build, a joy to pose, and a joy to load out with all of their weapons. If you are interested in some Blockees Transformers of your own, there's a link down there in the description, you can check it out. There is a whole bunch of them available, not just the ones I've taken a look at today. And again, thank you so much to Blokees themselves for sponsoring this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more reviews, and I'll see you next time.